be able to apply and learn more about that. We also have $250 million roughly for the rebuild, for the housing rebuild and replacement program, which is ongoing now. So we've got more to come. That's in addition to the billions he's already secured. And we look forward to coming back. As the governor said, we don't like to come empty-handed. And Representative Trumbull certainly doesn't like it when we come empty-handed either. So we look forward to coming back. Thank you for your commitment to your community. Thank you to the governor for putting the pressure on. And see you again soon.
Have I ever come empty-handed? I mean, so I want to bring up Jay Trumbull before I just Neil Dunn, the congressman. You know, Neil Dunn is my congressman in at the governor's mansion in Florida, in Tallahassee. And I didn't, when I moved in, I didn't really know. I just, because I figured, because he's, and so when he showed up on the ballot, I'm like, oh man, Neil. So I just want you to know, I appreciate your hard work, but I am not happy what's going on in Washington. And we need to clean it up, and hopefully we'll have a new direction after the 2022 election, because we need it. I want to thank Jay Trumbull for all his efforts. He's been in this for years now, and he's done a great job in the House of Representatives for the state. So, Jay.
So, Governor, first, point of personal privilege, I want to thank you for your swift decision last week. You continue to recognize that parents are in the best decision to make choices for their children, and your actions show that you've got faith in our fellow Floridians, and I just really appreciate what you've done. Secondly, I believe this is the first time you've been to Panama City since you've signed the budget, and for those of you paying attention and keeping tabs at home, Bay County did pretty well in this last legislative budget. And a lot of that still has to do with Hurricane Michael funds, and so we really appreciate your keeping the veto pen away from those things, and look forward to our work next year on it as well. The governor talked about it, but you think, we're in the heart of Panama City. What's cool about one of these programs, $5.6 million, is the HEART project, and so we think about the heart of a community is the downtown area. And how fitting it is to be able to talk about these funds sitting in downtown Panama City. Governor, we all have our own stories, but quickly, I can remember the morning after Hurricane Michael, driving a side-by-side down through Harrison Avenue, driving over glass, hearing sirens, listening to horns, seeing people's faces, not sure what tomorrow was going to bring. And it's really amazing to see how far we've come, and we're not even to the 3-year anniversary. And a lot of that has to do with the resources that you've procured, and we thank you very much for that, but it also has a lot to do with the men and women that are standing in this room that didn't take no for an answer, that decided to put significant resources of their own into what they're doing, and I think we'll hear some of that. But it's also from the folks that are elected in this community. Mayor Brednicki is one of those people that made sure that he put people in place to get things rolling again. We just really appreciate your investment and your continued desire to make sure that we see a tremendous amount of resources as we continue to move forward to a permanently prosperous area. And there's no greater community, in my opinion, in the country than Northwest Florida, specifically Bay County, to go through a Category 5 hurricane, to now be coming on the backs, but maybe revamping into a pandemic. The reality is that it's really tough to get up and come to work every day, but these people do it each and every day, and I appreciate very much you coming here and bringing a light to it. So thank you again for being here, sir, and we welcome you anytime.
All right. Thanks. Okay, Alan Branch.
Wow. You're going to get introduced by the governor today. Interesting. Let me mark that down in my journal tonight. Anyways, my name is Alan Branch, and I'm very proud to be co-founder of History Class Brewing Company, located in historic downtown Panama City. I'm also really proud of the 75 years that my family has been entrepreneurs in this county as well. That's very special to me. I'm speaking on the behalf of the downtown business owners, investors, property owners, and we are honored and grateful that we have a local and state government that recognize how important these districts are, how they are the heartbeat of our community, and they matter to the community. They matter because this is the place that you come as a citizen to gather. Your main streets are places that you have parades. Your main street is a place that you have community events. Last night there was a community event on Harrison Avenue. You know, these main streets are special places. These historic districts are special places. You know, main streets are a place where you eat locally, you shop locally, and you see people that you haven't seen in a while. In the South, we call that bumping into folks, is what we call them. So main streets are perfect for bumping into folks. You know, and main streets and downtowns are special. These historic districts are actually where your town was created. You know, Panama City was created like right here, not like in the lobby, but downtown. You know, but they formed Panama City in 1909. Downtown Panama City was the city. That was the whole city. So the origin story of our town came from here. You know, it's a really interesting thing to be a part of that story that's created. You know, this money that was, the funds in the state are just incredible. We're so grateful for that. So many people are going to be helped. But more importantly, we have a government that recognizes that they don't build these buildings the way they used to, and you cannot replace them. And you don't abandon communities after Cat 5 hurricanes. We've seen that time and time again. This administration shows up with checks and kind words, and that matters. So I think most of us were raised in a household in the South where when people are kind to you, where they bring you a gift and they say nice things to you, you look them in the eye and you say thank you. And so from our community, I want to say thank you for not just the money, but also acknowledging that we need help and these districts matter. Thank you.
Is this your water? This is water? Yeah. Well, I think we're going to do... okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Briefly, you know, when I was a child, I remember Santa Claus coming once a year. So when I get to be a 66-year-old curmudgeon, you know, it takes a little more than that to crank my tractor. Since the hurricane, this administration, this governor has been here about once a month instead of once a year. He brings more than just glad tidings. He brings money. He brings things that we need to rebuild. We got our butt kicked in that storm. And I will tell you, buddy, I will always be in your foxhole, okay? And so will the people of Panama City and Bay County. Thank you.
How do you follow Mayor Brudnicki, right? That's the tough part. True, don't try, never try. Obviously, Director Eagle, you came a few months ago and we thanked you for coming because you're an offset now of Santa Claus, right? So you're an elf of sorts to us because we want your money as well. So thank you. Bay County obviously thanks you. Panama City Beach thanks you. Obviously, the folks over here, we are one community. We just talked about that with Chairman Carroll. We are one community. As Bay County goes, every city goes, every municipality goes, and we are one community. And we thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Representative Trumbull and Governor, always, thank you. The more you come here, we'd like to see you once a week. So if we can start getting that on the schedule, that'd be great. But thank you very much for what you do. Thank you.
Well, thanks. We're excited to be here. And I just want to say something quickly. You know, Joe Biden has taken to himself to try to single out Florida over COVID. This is a guy who ran for president saying he was going to, quote, shut down the virus. And what has he done? He's imported more virus from around the world by having a wide open southern border. You have hundreds of thousands of people pouring across every month. And it's not just from Mexico. In fact, it's rarely from Mexico. You have over 100 different countries where people are pouring through. Not only are they letting them through, they're then farming them out all across our communities across this country, putting them on planes, putting them on buses. Do you think they're being worried about COVID for that? Of course not. So he's facilitating. Who knows what new variants are out there, but I can tell you whatever variants are around the world, they're coming across that southern border. And so he's not shutting down the virus, he's helping to facilitate it in our country. And what is his big solution? What is he so upset about Florida? His solution is he wants to have the government force kindergartners to wear masks in school. He doesn't believe the parents should have a say in that. He thinks that should be a decision for the government. Well, I can tell you in Florida, the parents are going to be the ones in charge of that decision. And one of the major medical people in his administration just recently told parents that they should be wearing masks at home when they're around their own children. This is insane. Joe Biden also believes that vaccination should be mandated by force of government and that you should have to show vaccination status to be able to participate in society. Now, Florida, we're very proud of our Seniors First strategy. You look at the mortality in nursing homes among seniors, it's declined dramatically. But we said from the beginning, we're going to make it available for all, but we're not going to mandate it on anybody. That's ultimately an individual's choice to be able to do it. Biden, he rejects science because he denies the fact that people that recover from COVID have long-lasting immunity. And that's been proven time and time again, and the data is very clear. So his vision is, just like in New York City, restaurants should ban young kids from being able to go in because they're not eligible for vaccination, and law-abiding citizens have to produce proof of their medical records just to go to the gym or attend an event or just to participate in everyday society. He wants that, but yet if you want to vote, he thinks it's too much of a burden to show a picture ID when you're voting. So no voter ID, but have to show your medical papers just to be able to live in everyday life? Give me a break. And so I think the question is we can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. And I can tell you, Florida, we're a free state. People are going to be free to choose to make their own decisions about themselves, about their families, about their kids' education, and about putting food on the table. And Joe Biden suggests that if you don't do lockdown policies, then you should, quote, get out of the way. But let me tell you this. If you're coming after the rights of parents in Florida, I'm standing in your way. I'm not going to let you get away with it. If you're trying to deny kids a proper in-person education, I'm going to stand in your way, and I'm going to stand up for the kids in Florida. If you're trying to restrict people, impose mandates, if you're trying to ruin their jobs and their livelihoods and their small business, if you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way, and I'm standing for the people of Florida. So why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you. Thank you.
Good job, my friend.